What up, squad? I am V, and this is the Sussex Set. Welcome to another episode. Pardon the audio quality, because I know it's trash. It's trash. I'm recording this on my phone, and I'm sitting in my living room. So you probably got like an echo and all of that. So I'm recording it on my phone so that I can upload it pretty quickly. I do not want to miss a Thursday. That's my day to actually do the podcast. I know a lot of people have been asking me to do more than one podcast a week. I will if I can. I'm definitely going to try at some points. It's just very hard with all the things that I have going on right now. Today was a crazy day for me. So I will tell you more about that. But this is a unique episode in that I want to devote the entire episode to Meghan and Harry, particularly Harry, as we go into Father's Day. This episode is the last episode that I get to do before Father's Day. And of course, we are doing a wonderful initiative, social media driven fundraiser, hashtag Happy Father's Day, Prince Harry, where we're highlighting two charities in particular. So this is what that episode is about. You know that I do the charities in the beginning, or I try to spotlight a charity, give people a little bit more information about it. You know, every week there's more people showing interest, more people learning more about Harry and Meghan and what they are about. So that's why I try to do the charities in the beginning, so that they can get a little bit more information piece by piece, week by week, whatever. But last week I shifted to highlighting charities that Harry has been very closely tied to, starting with Sentabale. And this week just gives me another opportunity to do that. And brag on Harry, which is kind of like my favorite pastime. So I love Harry. Anyway, so let's start with Scotty's Little Soldiers. By the way, those two charities, if you have missed it, or if you're somehow not on Twitter and you didn't know we were doing a fundraiser, the two charities that we are choosing to highlight and donate to are Scotty's Little Soldiers and the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. Okay. But before I do that, let me just real quick brag on Tina and Michelle. Thank you guys so much for spearheading this initiative. Thank you for getting people involved. Thank you for allowing me and so many others, Anita, Denise, everyone, to collaborate and help spread the word for this. I think it's really indicative of the type of people that Harry and Meghan are, that they have fans. I don't even like to say fans. You notice they never call us fans, but that they have supporters like us. They have people who care so much about the things that they do and the example they lead, that this is the type of thing that matters more to us rather than some of the more trivial things. And I think you guys are perfect representatives of that. Thank you, ladies of the Sussex Squad podcast and my Duke and I podcast. Thank you for the intelligence and class and passion that you all bring to the table and keeping the conversation flowing in a positive direction. I think Harry deserves no less. We did a wonderful fundraiser for Meghan and for Mother's Day, and I'm grateful to be able to take part in doing something for Harry as well. So thank you, Tina, Michelle, Anita, Denise, countless others on Twitter, and those of you sharing on Instagram, all over the place. People have been picking the story up, and we still have 4 or 5 days left before Father's Day in the U.S. So thank you guys. Just once again, I just wanted to get that out there, because it's really important that you guys really get your applause, because while I know that's not what you're looking for, and that's not why this comes about, that's not why Free People, introduced the Mother's Day initiative, even though that's not why you do this, just sit back, girl, and let me praise you, because you guys really did that. And so we appreciate you all, and I'm just following you guys' lead. So thank you for just recognizing Harry, and certainly for getting everyone on board to donating to these very worthy charities and causes, because they do a lot of work that means a lot for a lot of people. So starting with Scotty's Little Soldiers. Harry, you may remember when Harry and Meghan got married, they said, instead of giving us gifts or trying to buy us things, please donate to, and then they listed 7 charities. Well, Scotty's Little Soldiers was one of those charities. And now, in learning more about Scotty's Little Soldiers, I understand very well why Harry is interested in the charity and why he chose to put it in the forefront. And actually, if you go to the landing page on the website, the first thing you see is Harry and Meghan as their way to say thank you for promoting us, even though all eyes were on you in your wedding. I really love that the Sussexes used their life events, like their major life events, to promote others and to help others. Not because they have to, but because they want to. You don't see anybody else doing that. But that's like a standard for Harry and Meghan. They used the birth of their child. They used their wedding. When they have baby number 2, and baby number 2 is coming. Okay? They'll do it again. You know what I'm saying? So good for them. That was a little bit of a tangent, but so Scotty's Little Soldiers is a charity that began out of tragedy. And a lot of good things that we see in the world, that we witness in the world, come from pain. So I guess it's like pulling from both ends. But you know that Harry is not shy about supporting veterans. In fact, American vets love Harry. They absolutely adore Harry. Everybody loves Harry, but vets love him because they know that he's their brother in a way. So, especially combat veterans, they all share the same story. It's a love of brotherhood, standing shoulder to shoulder with men in a combat zone. Men and women, pardon me, in a combat zone is something that very few people will ever understand. I will never understand that. I don't even have anyone in my immediate family who served in a war like that. Not like Afghanistan and Iraq. That was just complete. It was a new kind of war. But they all identify with that. So they share the same story of love for one another and loss of their comrades. And maybe even loss of part of yourself that you don't get back after war. If you're unfortunate enough to not come back, quote unquote, whole, which is another way to understand why he emphasizes mental health on so many fronts. So no one can understand what they go through but them. And Harry takes it very seriously. A lot of times you fight one war and then you kind of take the war home with you. And so you might be fighting another battle in your head. And if you're one of the unfortunate ones who do not get to come home, your family fights an entirely different battle. So I see why Harry has this charity so close to his heart. And I'm grateful that he, picked it. And I'm glad that we are choosing to donate, because so many children never got their parents back from war. So that's why this charity exists. That's how this charity started. Corporal Lee Scott was the man who lost his life. And his wife, Nikki Scott, started this charity called Scotty's Little Soldiers. Corporal Lee Scott lost his life in Afghanistan in 2009, and he left behind a wife and 2 small children. His widow, Nikki, turned her grief into a gift for other children in the same position as hers, other families in the same position as theirs. So I'm sure Harry, having lost a parent at a very young age, not in war, but he empathizes, obviously, with the children who lost a parent by circumstances they can't control, maybe don't even understand, and understands in a way that very few people can identify with. This charity provides its beneficiaries with support and guidance throughout their childhood, the beneficiaries being primarily the children, and offers respite, however brief, from the daily ups and downs of coping with the loss of a parent. Assistance is available to the families from the British Army, the Royal Air Force, and the Royal Navy, and is not limited to those killed in action. Scotty's Little Soldiers has a vision that every bereaved British Forces child will have access to the very best emotional support, outstanding development opportunities, and the chance to smile again. You'll notice that is a theme of theirs. They want children to be able to once more after the loss of a parent. Me having lost my dad, who also was a United States Navy vet, I was a full-grown adult when that, when I lost my dad. He died of cancer, but you're never ready for it, So children are still developing, but if I, as an adult, felt what I felt, you just don't. Sometimes you don't think you're going to smile again. So I like that that's the centerpiece of the charity, is trying to get children to smile again. And if you've experienced loss, you know what that feels like. But as an adult, you've developed emotional tools to help you handle it, and you've developed community, you developed all of these things around you. Whereas if you're a child, you just don't understand. And a lot of times that can completely alter the trajectory of your life. You know what I mean? So that's their vision, to give them the opportunities, all the support that they need. To give them some of the support that they need, at least, to give them the chance to have the rest of their childhood, And their mission is to provide relief from the effects of bereavement to young people up to and including the age of 18 who have suffered the loss of a parent while they were serving in the armed forces of the Crown. So kudos to Scotty's Little Soldiers. And actually, if you look on their website, their charities assistance is divided into 3 programs. And a lot of charities do that. And that helps you kind of organize it in your mind as to what they are about. Smiles, support, and strides. So that's easy to remember. It's SSS, alliterative. But Smiles offer children the opportunity to smile again through a wide range of fun activities and gifts. That includes holiday breaks, group events, special experiences, and gifts at difficult times of the year. Think holidays, birthdays, Christmas, or whatever the holidays are that people celebrate. Everyone's is different. The second S is support. The support program aims to assist with the more emotional side of bereavement and includes access to professional counseling, very important, and family network support. Finally, the third S is Strides, the Strides program. That's designed to help with the charity's beneficiaries' personal development and includes a range of activities and educational grants. Definitely go to their website and see the impact that they've made. They have helped more than 1,000 children in the 10 years that they've been a charity. in the 10 years since the loss of Corporal Lee Scott. And currently they are helping close to 300 children. Go to their website to find out even more about them. That is scottieslittle.soldiers.co.uk. And please donate in Harry's name if you can. If you can. If you can't, just spread the word. Do some retweets on Twitter, and I know that other people will see them. And what we're essentially trying to do is create a ripple effect to where someone may just be scrolling through their phone and they'll see the Good Morning America article, or they'll see the Yahoo feature about this fundraiser, and they'll decide to donate, even though they might not necessarily be quote unquote Sussex Squad. So this is what we're doing. We all play a part. So everyone can do a little bit. That's kind of like my motto as I go through life. Everyone can do just a tiny bit. So I kind of look at it this way. If a woman in grief who lost her husband, for all I know, he might have been the breadwinner, Mr. Lee Scott, he's leader of the family. He's a national hero for giving his life, truly. And he doesn't come home, but she decides to use her pain and transmute it into something that helps other people. Then certainly we can retweet, right? Of course. But if you can give too, definitely give. Because it will be going to a cause that ensures that children keep some semblance of their childhood. scottieslittle.soldiers.co.uk. If you haven't been on the website, just scroll through the website, look at it, see the different options that it gives you to find out more about the charity, and to find out how you can get involved, whether you're donating, whether you are buying merch, whether you are volunteering. They actually even list different volunteer opportunities that are specific that they need right now. So if you're in the UK, maybe that's something that would fit for you. I believe graphic designer was even one. So just check out the website. It's very well designed, and I think that it's sort of is kid friendly. I like that the charity actually has a little mascot version of Corporal Lee Scott, as almost probably even as a way to say to his own children that I'm still here, I'm with you, my name lives on through this charity. So if anything, think about it that way. Do it for that. And of course, lastly, our second charity is the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. They are, I don't even really, technically it's a charity, but it just does so much, and its reach is so vast that it's hard for me to think of it as a charity, although at the end of the day, that's in part what it is anyway. The Queen's Commonwealth Trust is devoted to cultivating young leaders throughout the Commonwealth. And their key phrase is today's young leaders shaping tomorrow's world. Now, the Commonwealth is a global family of 53 countries. That is 1/3 of the whole world's population. 60% of whom are under the age of 30. That's a lot. That's a majority. Really think about it. By the way, we don't have I probably say this every episode. I don't even know what it's like to live in a country with royalty and a monarchy and all of that. And so to know that this same monarchy that was around in the 1400s, 1500s, still has the influence that it has over that many people 1/3 of the whole world in 2019, 60% of which are young people. It's kind of crazy to me. Not in a bad way. It's just mind blowing, those figures. Like, if you really think about it. So, influence. Talk about influencers, girl. But Harry and Meghan are the president and vice president, as you know, of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, which says that the Queen trusts Harry and Meghan a whole lot. So again, that's 1/3 of the world's population, 60% are under the age of 30. This potential in the most connected generation of all time is compelling. Their collective strength, passion, and perspective present a unique opportunity to bring about positive change for now and for the generations that follow. Now, I know I'm promoting a charity, but I just had a thought. And I guess I hadn't thought of it before. Like, the Queen really did know what she was doing. Because, and I'm sorry for all the ambient noise, background noise, but it just is what it is today. But she knew that she had to have a couple who could head this gigantic entity, the QCT, who understands the importance of connectivity. You know what I mean? You can't be anachronistic and someone who young people see similarities between themselves and you. They can't relate to a relic. And so Harry and Meghan are truly that modern force helping to push the monarchy into a new age, because it's still kind of slow going, but if anybody can do it, it's definitely Harry and Meghan. Harry being the president of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. I like to read their mission just briefly. Bear with me. It may feel a little bit lengthy, but it definitely gives insight as to what their ultimate goals are, the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, because I think a lot of times we see that name floated out there. We see Meghan being involved in the panel. We see Harry involved in a lot of things, him being the president. But a lot of times you might not really even know specifically as an entity what it does or what it aims to do. So their mission, we want to be a platform for young change makers across the Commonwealth, a place where smart ideas are shared, sparking inspiration, where the cumulative impact of thousands of small acts of kindness can be seen and celebrated, a place where more and more people feel motivated and enabled to step up and take action, no matter how small. We find and fund young people whose bright ideas solve local problems in education, health, the environment, and sport. We support those who have set up their own not-for-profit organizations, as well as those who are leading projects that help others. We are just starting out, but our ambitions are bold. The young people we work with are our partners, bringing insight and expertise. By connecting them with our experienced partners and friends, we will create a network where mentorship, resources, and skills are shared. Our platform will be a place for learning, where successes and failures are shared, guiding and empowering others so ventures can move ahead faster than ever. Our work together will demonstrate the values of the Commonwealth in action through the leadership, energy, and optimism of its young people. That's incredible, right? I love it. Like, I love the way that it just feels relatable. You know, the mission, like, that's the centerpiece of a charity. It feels like it's a huge thing, but it feels small. You know what I'm saying? And I think Harry and Meghan are really good at that too. Like they're global figures, but you feel like you know them, you know? So I like that they are focusing on, it's like it gives young people the confidence to be able to put forth an idea, whether it succeeds or fails, but to try, right? And to collaborate. That collaborative spirit is something that is so important, but also it's a unifying thing. And my Duke and I, they focus on the Commonwealth as a part of their podcast. So, I like that. I really do like that. And it shows, again, how much faith Queen Elizabeth has in Harry and Meghan. So, some of their projects are as follows. There's one called Girl Dreamer, and it is all about empowering the next generation of women of color. Girl Dreamer is an empowerment platform for young women of color, providing leadership, development, and community initiatives to allow greater access to skills, opportunities, and social inclusion. And if you click through, you'll see even more about each individual project. So, for example, Girl Dreamer has partnered with the Queen's Commonwealth Trust since March of 2019, literally a couple of months ago. You know what I mean? And they know they have the support of Queen's Commonwealth Trust. And so they start with a problem. And it says the problem is, I'm just on their page right now. The problem that they started with was a lack of diversity. And they go into why that was a problem and how the initiative Girl Dreamer helps to solve that problem. And so they continue, young women of color are amongst the most marginalized in the UK and often struggle to overcome the stereotypes and barriers they encounter, leading to a lack of inclusion, representation, and access, and low confidence levels. That's probably true everywhere, because you could say the same thing over here in America, or in any place where a group of people of color are the minority. So let's say like a white dominated society. Yep, that's true. And that is an issue. So the fact that the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, something that doesn't have to exist actually even at all, but does exist so that initiatives like Girl Dreamer can also exist, that's major. That's boss, And it's definitely forward thinking because, the Commonwealth is the future of the monarchy, or rather, the future of the monarchy rests on the Commonwealth. So, Girl Dreamer assists these young women of color with the development of their business strategies and support the growth of their unique initiative, Borders Without Borders, BOARDERS, as in skateboarders. Because there's a picture of a bunch of girls in hoodies and they got their skateboards and they're looking like badass. So it's called Borders Without Borders, as in national borders. That partnership is allowing the work of Girl Dreamer to reach often marginalized women and girls in their community and afford them the ability to develop and express themselves in a variety of dynamic and impactful ways. So they start with a problem and then they introduce a solution. And in this case, the problem, lack of diversity, one of the solutions was redefining sporting stereotypes in order to drive social change, which is what Girl Dreamer is attempting, or does actually. So Girl Dreamer, for example, just giving this as an example, is setting out to redefine the sports narrative for women of color in the UK while supporting young girls in Birmingham through leadership and empowerment programs. The importance of sport as a source of and a driver for social inclusion has been well documented. And they go into research about how it increases community development and social cohesion and, brings better physical and mental well-being. The impact of the initiative is also documented, helping young women of color develop connections and gain opportunities. And they go into how the existence of Girl Dreamer has done just that. So giving young people the confidence to identify a problem, because we can always find the problem. It's always right there. It's something that just gives us frustration, right? Then a solution, and then looking at the work that you've done, the initiative that you've created, and the impact that it has had on individual communities simply by its existence. And you can see that duplicated over and over and over in the Queen's Commonwealth Trust with other similar initiatives that young people have put forth. And again, some of them work, some of them don't, but the fact that they are given the space to try, they're given the space to attempt, that's truly building a strong Commonwealth. Because think about if that's the standard, and there's a place for you to at least try to solve a problem, at least try to make a problem less of one for, let's say, your own community, how can you lose with that? So I think it's great. I wish we had something like that over here. We got 350, or I don't know if it's quite 50, but over 300 million folks over here. And it's literally every man for themselves. That's what it feels like. And y'all already know, because the internet has made the world smaller. So now y'all know what America really is. I wish we had something like that. Like, to be quite honest, even if it's just for young people, it's giving them the opportunity to take ownership of this global family that they're a part of. And let me remind you, Harry and Meghan are at the helm of that. So definitely check out the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. Look at some of these other initiatives that are there. I just gave the one example, but some of them are really just great and fascinating. And it also gives you insight into the minds and the hearts of the people who are actually behind them. And it shows you what they're thinking about and how passionate they are about doing their part to, I know it sounds cheesy, but to make the world a better place, to make, even if it just starts with them, with their community, their neighborhood. I think it's awesome. Queen's Commonwealth Trust, it is really just that, .org, queenscommonwealthtrust.org. And you can look at the different projects. You can look at the teams. You can look at some of the inspiration that they draw, inspiration and resources. And then you can also see how to get involved. You can donate, like so many of us have been doing. You can figure out how to actually, even if you live in a Commonwealth country, get involved with, maybe, you have a niece. I have a 17-year-old niece. I would try to get her involved, if I lived in a Commonwealth country, because she has a lot of ideas about so many different things. But that's neither here nor there. Please check out the Queen's Commonwealth Trust.org and see some of the wonderful things that these young people are doing. Like, I'm proud. I'm impressed. And I don't even live there. Some of the ways you can get involved are to spread the word. You can join the conversation, join the family, stay in touch, put your email in there and just have them email you some of the different things, some of the news bits that are coming out about the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. You can become a partner if you have an entity that could partner with the QCT and because it's really all about continuing to spread the word so that more projects, so that more initiatives throughout the Commonwealth can continue to sprout up. And of course, you can also make a donation, which is the most readily available way to get involved. But don't shy away from getting involved in the conversation and encouraging young people who are in Commonwealth countries to do that, because it's truly about them. And a lot of times they leave it to the adults to run the show, when really the Commonwealth rests in their hands because they are the future. So check out the queenscommonwealthtrust.org. And please, again, if you haven't made a donation but you intend to or you want to, do so in Harry's name for Father's Day. He is truly he's a man amongst men. He's uncommon among uncommon people. And he's truly shown from a very early age that he cares a lot about people, no matter who they are, where they come from, what they look like, what their color is, what their income is. He cares to use the privilege that he has to try to make other people's lives better. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, all of you that have donated or retweeted the donations to Scotty's Little Soldiers and the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. Remember, this fundraising initiative lasts through Sunday. You can donate whenever you want to, but we're pushing to get as many donations as we can up and through Sunday, which is Father's Day. And you guys are great. You guys are, we got to be the best family. I know I'm biased, but we're probably like the best fan base ever, because none of this stuff would be possible without each and every one of you. And again, just want to echo what I had read before. Every little bit helps. Every little action matters. So thanks to each and every one of you. Check out those charities' websites. And on Sunday, let's just wish Harry a wonderful, happy first Father's Day for being a dad, for being Archie's dad, and for being the dad that he's always wanted to be. I think this would be the perfect gift. So again, thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. And again, let me apologize because this audio quality sucks, but it's the words that matter. So check out the two charities, and please continue to live well, be well, move in light, and love, and pray that on Sunday we get a picture of Archie Harrison, Mountbatten, Windsor. Until next time, peace.
Women need a seat at the table. They need an invitation to be seated there. And in some cases, where this isn't available, well, then you know what? Then they need to create their own table.